Alright, so I'm gonna try to give my unfiltered thoughts on Marathon after playing it for about a week. And yeah, I don't know. I was wrong about a lot of stuff. Let me just say that. I was mostly optimistic about the game, and I was having a fairly good time with it for the first 2 or 3 days. All of the glaring issues that I just sort of put blinders onto, like I still experienced them to some degree, but I thought they were just like minor inconveniences or annoyances that came with learning a new game. But after playing the game for about a week, that is more than enough time to basically figure out if the game actually has these core fundamental issues or if there's just early, growing pains from learning new systems. And it's definitely the former. It's just that a lot of the systems they have in place are not thought through. It's like no one tested this internally. A lot of the issues, I know you've seen a lot of them, such as like the UI being a complete cluster. I guess, you know what, let me back up. I'm gonna start with, so I made a video about a week or so ago saying the tips that we should be looking out for or things that we should test heading into the service land. I found a lot of the stuff that I brought up had major issues. And yeah, so I guess we'll just start from top to bottom, everything that I said in that video that we should look out for, and a lot of the things that ended up disappointing me. And the first thing I talked about in that video can just be skipped. It was talking about the server stability, and it's been completely fine. Like, there's nothing to talk about there. Been no hiccuping, no stuttering issues, no performance issues. Yeah, I mean, it's complete non-factor, so there's nothing to really talk about there. The first thing that really irritated me that I talked about that we need to look out for in Marathon is the map design and map flow, and it's atrocious. Like, perimeter has to be one of the most poorly designed. I mean, it's called perimeter for a reason, I guess, because all the points of interest are basically on the perimeter, and all you're really doing in this game when going from one location to the next is just walking or running, because there's nothing really interesting. It's literally if like Death Stranding was a live service game. Like, outside of going to these locations and POIs, which in themselves is like, they're uninspired, they're very barren, there's not really a lot of interactivity within the locations. But when you're going from one location to the next, you may as well just tune everything else out, because there's nothing along the way outside of like the rare PvP moment. There's nothing really along the way that's going to grab your attention. You're literally just going from one completed objective to the next, one location to gather loot to the next, and then you go to extraction, and then it's so uninspired, it's so flat. I genuinely thought how extraction shooters worked was that there's loot disparity. So like, there's high loot, medium loot, low loot areas, and like, to gain access to certain areas you might need special requirements, keys, whatever. Maybe there is, and maybe I just haven't found it. But across perimeter in Dire Marsh, yeah, I mean, there's none of that. Going from one location to another is basically just switching spots to get the same exact loot, and it's mostly just salvageable trash. Like, no matter if it's a high defense area compared to a low defense area, and the whole map design, and obviously the map flow, going from one location to the next, there's nothing interesting in both of the maps I played that will grab you to keep your attention. It's just, yeah, it's flat and it's bland. Now, I will say the one really good thing about Marathon was something I had heard beforehand, and I can confirm after playing it, this is definitely true, is that the sound design is like top tier. Like, the sound design is so cool, especially when there's weather effects, and just like the sound in general. The soundtrack is all really good. So at least there's that going for it. Like, the sound design and the soundtrack is basically like S tier. But the other thing I talked about was using a variety of runner shells, and that's basically, I wouldn't say it's useless, but like, the learning curve with each runner shell is such a steep curve for, I would say, like, the average player, that really learning a variety of different shells is very tough. It's like if you were to hop into Valorant and you were to try out ranked, but you're going into ranked with an agent you never used before, and it's like, okay, you're going to be completely screwing over your team in that situation, because they need you to be making the right reads with your abilities and the right plays at the exact timing. And that's kind of what it's like in Marathon. Is there's such a steep learning curve that they don't really explain properly. This is something I'll get to later on, but like, man, the explanation of things in this game is just, it's not there. I also talked about looking out for the enemy AI threat level. There is no enemy AI threat level outside of getting ganged up on, which, I mean, that can happen from time to time, but like, they're so easy to outsmart. There's nothing like arc raiders where you're just shit out of luck. You get caught out of place by 2 or 3 hornets, a wasp, you have rollers or whatever they're called coming after you, and you're screwed, right? You can find ways to move around the robots in this game. They're not hard to outsmart, and they're not hard to take down either. Like, really, these guys will drop in, like, it feels like 2 to 3 bullets. At least most of them. Some of them are a little bit more tankier, like the one with the shield is a little more tankier, but for the most part, even if you pull out your knife and go at it, 3 or 4 knives is done, and you might just have to recharge your shield again. Like, there's no threat level there. And with how low the PvP encounters are in this game, which I thought it was a PvP game, or I thought it was a PvP eccentric game, and I run into maybe one team a game, and I'll probably be showing you that one team I run into per game, because it's like there's nothing else to really do. There's literally nothing else to do besides gain the same exact loot over and over and over again, run into the one team you find, and then I guess just extract. Yeah. Also, speaking of extracting, I talked about the extraction time windows, and to gauge how good those feel, I mean, there's nothing to really talk about here outside of they just feel, again, it's another thing that's kind of bland and uninspired. It's basically the same thing over and over and over again. There's a guarded extraction, and then there's just a regular extraction, and they both feel the exact same, because with shells such as Assassin and also Destroyer, I mean, literally, it's not a challenge even if you're by yourself going at a guarded extraction. Like, there's nothing here that'll keep you from extracting. This is another thing I talked about. I was like, hopefully there's, maybe if you need a special key to get to this extraction, you know how Arc Raiders has like the Raider hatch keys? I thought maybe would have their own kind of system like that, where certain extractions can be out of the way, but you need a special key to get there, and you can basically like bypass the timer. No, all of them are just basically the exact same. And I mean, you just press the button to extract, you hide for a little bit, then you basically run on top of it, and I mean, you're gonna extract. Like, it's just there's no feeling of like accomplishment like there should be in an extraction shooter whenever you extract. And there's not that rewarding feeling there, because I mean, I can extract basically every single time if I'm playing the map right, because I don't run into anyone. Like, man, it's just all these problems compound on top of each other because of all the other issues that the game is facing right now. And I still kind of like the game, like its basic gameplay system, and the overall like gameplay loop is actually kind of fun to me. Like, I still like that aspect of it, regardless of what everyone else says. But like, these are definitely problems with the game that it's just like they're stacking up on top of each other, and it's making it hard to really find any like real satisfaction from the gameplay. I talked about trying solos and squads equally. I mean, I tried one round with Rook. I don't know, man. Is there a difference? The game feels the same if you're in a squad or solos. Like, I thought there would be some different disparity between them. There's not. There's no contrast between playing the game solo or playing it with a squad. Also, most people just don't really use mics. I mean, that's fine. You don't have to use a mic, but that's probably a byproduct of the game not really encouraging it through social features like it does in Arc Raiders. And that's also something I brought up, was the PvP social features. It's just not here. It's literally just not here in this game. Not in the same way that it has it in Arc Raiders, which is probably the reason why people don't really feel like teaming together that much. Like, you have teammates, but they're kind of just people that are there. Unless you actually are hopping on with your boys, you're not going to get teammates that are going to work together. They're just going to kind of be there, and yeah, I mean, that's it. I also talked about using all the weapons, using as many weapons as you can. If you come across a weapon, just pick it up and use it. That was a completely useless point to talk about, because every weapon in this game is an absolute laser beam, and it kills everything. No matter what rarity it is, it kills everything. It feels like a 2 bullets. Like, I genuinely feel comfortable just bringing a pistol into the round, because again, I can drop a robot in like 2 to 3 shots, it feels. But if I face off with another player and I hit all headshots, which the hitbox for some reason feels like it's really big, so like I can hit headshots really easily. But even then, it might just be that all weapons in this game, they feel like they shoot 50 round cal bullets, because it's so easy to drop people. You drop them in like 2 seconds, even if it's at range with a pistol. It's crazy. So telling people to use a variety of weapons is basically pointless when every weapon just feels like a rocket launcher. Yeah, I don't know. They definitely got to do some TTK balance, because that's something I talked about. I said test the TTK balance and the weapon balance, and yeah, that's out of whack. That's not good. And I I had a fear this might have been the problem. I had it, but I was like, this is not going to be, it's not one of my biggest fears. No, this is now like, I mean, the TTK is just, it's not great. Even then, like one time I died in like half a second. I was full shield, full armor, everything. And I died literally in half a second. It wasn't desync or nothing. And the guy just hit me with, I don't know, like, I don't know how much he hit me with the M77, but I was at full health and I dropped instantly. I thought I got sniped. And yeah. So yeah, they definitely got to work on that. I also wanted to talk about the progression system that's actually in the service land, because if this is what's in the final game, I mean, this is just kind of, it's a little bit underwhelming. It's not that bad, honestly. Like, I like the whole faction system. I really like it. But I don't know. I feel like the path to upgrade it's just too bland. Like, it's all the same. Just get to this certain rank in this faction and then spend credits on it to then gain that skill. Like, there has to have been some way they could have made this more interesting. I mean, you're gonna have a faction system and then you're gonna have different runner shells. There's no way you couldn't have made it where, all right, after you unlock a certain rank with this faction, use this particular runner shell, go complete an objective to then gain this skill. Like, I basically told you right there how to make acquiring skills 10 times more interesting than just, oh, once you unlock it, just spend credits. Like, that's not interesting. That's just, again, the word I keep using in this video, uninspired and bland. Like, it's just, mainly it's uninspired, and it's just kind of like, it just doesn't really stand out. And obviously I wanted to wait until the end of the video to really dive into this UI problem that basically everyone on the entire internet is talking about. Like, you play the game for 15 minutes, you realize, oh my god, this is one of the worst UIs I've ever seen in a video game ever. It's convoluted, complex, there's text all over the place, you don't know where stuff actually is, there's stuff that looks basically the exact same that goes to different things, that has different purposes in game, and it confuses the ever-living hell out of you. When you're in the menus and you're trying to like navigate and you're trying to, well, first off, the whole cursor system is awful. Like, the fact that you have to use this cursor, you can't adjust its speed, you can't adjust how big it is just, it's completely stupid. I don't want to hear that this is just a server slam. The game comes out after this in like a couple of days. What are you on about? This isn't going to change in a couple of days, man. This is what we have at launch. And this cursor system, especially on controller, it like makes me want to throw the controller through the screen. I have to drag the cursor all the way to the top, all the way back down to the bottom. And when I do get where I want to go, sometimes it doesn't respond to what I'm actually pressing. Like, it doesn't respond to the prompt properly. And Neural Cinema showed this in his video. Like, I'm not bullshitting. It literally is either the most complex PhD level of UI design I've ever seen in my life, or it's just not working properly. And yeah, if you take everything else out of the equation, that people agree there's basically all that's wrong with the game, such as like, well, at least mainly in my opinion, things like the map design, the extraction points, the enemy AI threat level, the lack of actual PvP encounters. If you take all that out of the equation and say that all that is actually really good, the UI system itself and the clutteredness and the confusing nature of it alone would probably make this game not worth buying, because it is that confusing, it's that annoying to navigate. Luckily, I have a higher tolerance for that kind of stuff, which is why I made it basically all the way through the service slam. But I mean, I can understand why people, they tried it for like 15 to 20 minutes. They're like, what the hell is all this stuff? Like, this goes over here. What's this pop-up you're showing me? I don't need this pop-up. Like, and then they get into the game, they don't know what anything is. Then they get all these random pop-ups telling them about all this different stuff. It's not telling them how to actually actively play the game. And they're like, okay, this is overwhelming, and I'm not with it. I completely understand that, and that's probably where a lot of people have just stopped with Marathon, because the UI is like the first hurdle, and it's too much to overcome. And yeah, I mean, I've been a big defender of this game, but I mean, you can let me have it. You can let me have it. A lot of the things that I said we need to be looking out for, in fairness, I did say we need to be looking out for this stuff. Like, I didn't say like, oh, the game's perfect right now. I just said I'm optimistic and I'm cautiously like waiting to see more from the game and waiting to play it. But I was optimistic in a way, and yeah, it let me down. It let me down. I'm not gonna lie, it let me down. I'm still hoping that, like, I'm still gonna play it at launch, and I'm hoping that they can make improvements like massive improvements within the first month, because I mean, bro, they got, I mean, they, first off, they have no more time. There's no way they're gonna delay it again, but they gotta hope they can somehow figure all this stuff out. They're getting all this feedback from everyone, by the way. Like, everyone's saying this. Even, again, like myself, someone who became a fan of Marathon relatively recently, and people who've been long-standing fans of Marathon, basically since it's revealed, have all been saying the same stuff about this game and the problems that they see with it. So I know that they've already confirmed that they've seen a lot of stuff that we're talking about, but I mean, they're gonna have to fix this stuff basically right when it launches and the weeks leading after launch, because I mean they're out of time. This is a live service game going head to head with games like Tarkov and games like definitely Arc Raiders. They have no more chances, bro. They gotta really try to nail this down within the first month after launch, or I mean, you might have to take Marathon out back, bro, because it ain't looking good right now, man. You can let me have it in the comments as much as you want to, and I'm gonna take it on the head, because I didn't expect it to go this poorly. I still enjoyed it overall, but it wasn't no 8 out of 10 plus gameplay experience. It was more like a 5 out of 10 at best. And sometimes when it was really frustrating, like a 3 out of 10. And yeah, I don't know, bro. I'm just disappointed. Yeah, I don't know what else to say. I'm disappointed.